Hello there everyone, this is Mark3 and welcome back to a bit more of the last Starship as we cruise around in the story mode, the industry mode, where we try to work on the little Stargate project which will have no problems whatsoever, and see how we go. Now, last time we had a few issues with the upload, but I think it was just a shrapnel from YouTube's ever-going war with, you know, ad blockers. IPF reported some problems, then I had the same problems, then there was a bit of confusion, but it turned out that even having an ad blocker running in any kind of capacity stopped it from displaying it at above 360p resolution, I think it was, if I recall. And yeah, just full disable of the ad blocker fixed it, so yeah, YouTube shrapnel, as it turned out. Yeah. I mean, I actually have my ad block mostly disabled for YouTube, but even that was not enough, which was why I was a bit surprised why I got caught out for that, but who knows. Anyway, the other thing that happened last time was we got ourselves into combat training. We did the wolf in sheep's clothing. We had a look around, we tried to do things, and then I went and did some test fighting to go and try that out. Since then, I've been in a couple more fights, as you can probably tell by the fact I've got 3 deaths and half my hull's missing. If we follow the trail of drones over here back towards our ship, we can see that we are absolutely fine. Yep, absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Yeah. So basically what happened is, I did a couple of combat missions, and then a combat mission led me into one of the active hostile zones, which means that enemies are constantly spawning there. And my ship couldn't salvage fast enough to break away without leaving a ton of stuff behind. So I've been getting too much practice with the combat, honestly. Though that does solve an issue which Happy Haver mentioned, which is let's see, Happy Haver's just words. The gist of Happy Haver's comment last time, though, is first off, weapon effects, especially the Gatling guns, were too loud. I agree. I have turned down sound effects volume from 100% to 70%, so that should be a bit better balanced now. I'll let my ship actually try and get themselves sorted out a bit. It's a bit toasty. Next thing is second ship. Turning specialized role makes the most sense. I think this ship as a specialized mission runner is probably the most sensible thing, because I've not shown you the interior yet, because we're moving on to the other thing here. Main ship can fuel FCR production, keep autonomy. Maybe armor production if not too difficult. Everything else should be produced on the new ship, though I suppose you may need to earn some more money first. Those production structures are kind of expensive. They are, but as an upside of all this damage, of all the salvage work is, if I go ahead and switch us off the exterior mode, as you can see I condensed the system so that we've got this thing running full tilt in terms of like producing, well, salvage. It's got 3 salvage, it's condensed to a single smelter per. Then we've got resource overrun, we've got module overrun, we've got ammo overrun, we've got more overrun, we've got smoke everywhere. They're working on that at the moment. More excess storage, and more excess storage. And here are the casualties. There was a whole breach in this area, apparently. Yeah, so I think I should probably get out of here before something else happens. I'm just waiting on them actually fixing up the solar panels first. Because if I prepare for jump, they'll come back inside and stop fixing those. I want them all fixed. We've got nearly $2 million. Well, space dollars, and we've got all this extra stuff that I'm not even sure half of what I've got, to be honest. I was just scooping it all up out of space. The ship's intact though, so get the suits back off and we'll go ahead and get in what I believe is the industrial section of this. So we are here at NG5. Hostiles, those 2 are constantly spawning hostile ships. And then we want to go here for deep space industrialists. Prepare the jump, please. I think I want to get, let's get our other ship, actually, to do that as well. No, you can't. Head over to NG7 then, please. There we go. Deep Space Industrialist, Part 1. We need to give this guy a call. And we also need to, of course, try and sort out some of our stuff. For example, the loss of 3 crew. Wait, 1 scientist, got 2 officers. This will bring me up to 35. I've tried to keep it in multiples of 5, which implies I've had more crew. Also notice I've got 143 spacesuits on board. I told you I've got a lot of salvage going on. Anyway, let us get started with that, because we also jumped in our other ship around here somewhere too. Oh no, I literally just did that. I haven't, because that is somewhere else. I will call this over as well, just so we can get this going. Now, this might be a good place to do industrial, because this is actually a shipyard in a nebula with an asteroid belt. So this is like a very odd mix of things in this particular system. Everything's here. Makes me hope that the asteroids aren't depletable, but I don't honestly know on that regard, because every time I come here, the people are mining stuff. Jump. Okay, call X. Yes, hello. Call X, thank you. Alexander James Ellistar, who wanted to get in touch with me about the Stargate project. Captain, perhaps you're already aware, but there are big plans underway in the sector, designed to build something incredible, a transportation system with near-infinite range requiring state-of-the-art manufacturing and industry. A Stargate big enough for the most massive fleets, shuttling humanity between galaxies as if they were nothing but neighbouring stars. A new multi-galactic era for humanity. Oh. So, basically we've got a localized Stargate. This is like a transgalactic Stargate, like reach another galaxy Stargate. The Ori did that in Stargate, but it was actually a pretty rare tech, all told. All my years, I've never known so much capital to be allocated to one project. There's golden opportunity here for us, but the barriers of entry are high. I have the assets, the capital, and facilities that we need to fulfill the Andromeda project's massive ambition. Andromeda project just makes me think of Mass Effect, honestly. Sadly, my days of running the shop floor in person are long behind me. I need a floor manager, someone willing to oversee day-to-day operations for me. My years of experience have taught me to spot talent when I see it. You do so nothing about the state of my ship when I came in. Here's my proposal. I'll provide a factory station, seed capital, so you're fully funded. You set up production facility for me and oversee day-to-day operations, manufacturing parts for the Andromeda project to their specifications. We'll split the profits 50-50. And believe me when I say, there'll be plenty to go around. Okay. Do I accept? I accept. Wonderful news. Happy to agree to partner with me on this. My factory space station is positioned nearby, ready for us to use as a base of operations. Slightly battered. This is the AJ Foundry, a wonderful industrial facility. Perfect for our needs. I'll just need to provide you with some access codes so you can assume control of the facility. Yeah. Look at that. For years I've manufactured engines and FTL drives out right here. For every fleet that disappeared, that passed through the sector, it's really fallen into disrepair. Your first job is to send over a skeleton crew, establish basic power generation and life support. I have previous crew box up some of the usable equipment. You should find the parts you need already in storage. Add crew to the station. Install the reactor, install the air duct, pressurize the facility. This is all a bit battered, honestly. Now, the thing is, this is a good... We've got it here at a shipyard, but the other sector I just mentioned, NG7, might actually be a good place to move this, just so that it's constantly got access to stuff. But in the meantime, though, we do need to do some stuff. So, Procyon Cruiser, if you would mind heading over, please. I'm pondering turning the Temptress, rather than a general production ship, turn this into like a supply production ship. Like this thing will produce fuel, it'll produce ammunition, stuff like that. So this ship has got some space, not as much so as the Foundry does. And yeah, this is why I moved the cruiser over, because the cruiser's drones can start to patch the hull. Because if they're like this, then that's breached tiles, and that's going to leak atmosphere. That's how I lost some people. But at the very least, this will get the thing in kind of relative order. So that'll do. So, all I need to do is transfer the crew across its set. Rocket cruiser, add crew. I will go ahead and, because I want to actually transfer equipment, I want to actually get this ship active and involved because, you know, this ship has a lot of raw materials. Look at the state of the armor plating on this ship, by the way. Everywhere a missing cross shape is everywhere a panel of armor has been scraped off the side of this thing. This ship is rather battered, honestly. It's also very heavy because it's carrying too much stuff, so I just have to be very careful with it. Now, we've already done the tutorial in Wolf on Sheep's Clothing on how to go and transfer stuff between the ships. So, as I massively spin myself out of alignment there, whoops. There we go. Yep, just latch on. And the thing is, this place actually comes with an extra docking port on the other side, so having one ship docked doesn't actually affect it too much, and this will let me just shunt resources across immediately if I care to. So, let's just get some crew in, and we'll continue on from there. Okay, I suppose this is as good as any place to find out exactly the ridiculous stuff I've got on my cruiser. Let's see. Among other things, I have 101 logistics drones because I've been scooping them up all willy-nilly. I should probably just get some over there anyway, just so that this place has them. You need some seeds. I've got like 27 stacks of the things. 143 spacesuits, 53 crates of explosives, 146 stacks of copper ingots, 76 titanium, 151 precious metal, 206 metal ingots flat out. I've even got 40 scrap waiting to be waiting around in the AG foundry. I'll just leave that there because, well, if I ship it over to Procyon could just process it, I suppose. But I'm actually trying to just get the systems across for full biosphere production and stuff like that. Like I've transferring. There's some robot arms up here. I've got 30, 37, 124 tracks, which I was manufacturing for a brief while there. 177 FTL charges just sitting around. 372 crates of bullets. 148 cannon shells. 76 food. 79 compost. I have gracious plenty of many things. And this is despite also buying up some stacks of things as well. Like I've got some spare smelters, got some spare drone bays, which I'm pondering thinking doing because we can do remote transfer without having to dock first. They just put stuff into the drone bays and launch them that way. Mining lasers, if I'm thinking about moving the station somewhere, there is even a spare engine sitting around in the cruiser. There's an air duct, there's the oxygen loaders, fuel. Could do with some more medium tanks. I'll give you some small tanks as well. Huge tanks. Don't know, but I will transfer across some more reactors, batteries, and honestly I've been kind of stockpiling solar panels a bit. I've been buying those up as well as got some in salvage, so I'll just go ahead and transfer 20 of them. Though if this thing moves to that other place where there's asteroids and also a nebula, the solar panels won't be very much use. So that is something worth considering as well. And then we'll just do it that way. Water is the only thing I don't really have, but that's because water generation relies on sewage production, and then that ties into having passengers, which, since I've just come back from a combat-heavy time off camera, I've not really been ferrying passengers around, even though I've been making money. I will send over some extra compost and food, though, just because I'm nice like that. Who am I kidding? I'm just clicking things now. I'll do all that. Get all that sorted. And then let's, this corner's convenient, I suppose you could say. So let's go ahead and install some basic parts. Actually, this part looks okay. This part. I'll convert this one into a standard compact fuel, not fuel, oxygen and life support section. Let's do that. Wait, I don't have a sewage type. I'll have to buy a sewage type. Right. Habitation? I also like the CO2 scrubbers, actually. That should about do it, I think. Okay, so ignore the tangle there. I did have to slightly expand the floor space a little bit just because I decided to actually fully automate it to the point of having small storages and robot arms and things installed as well. I just need to configure these really quick because they don't check to see what's needed on the other side of them. Like that one's going to be grabbing food. Stuff like that. So, that's basically all set up now. I just need one more robot arm, which I almost forgot for a second there, which is going to be this one here. I'll do it. And this should probably get things started up. So I'll just go ahead and connect the fuel lines like so. And that should be good. Come to life, AJE Foundry. And now we find out if I've got the pipes configured correctly. You're filling up with oxygen. This one is loading water. Very good. The sewage pipe's up here. The air ducts CO2 system is down this side of things. I do need to install a ladder. Oh wait, no, that's what you want to install. Never mind. I didn't have to buy that now. Darn it. So, oh no, I went and bought a ladder I didn't need. Ooh, for shame, for shame. Let's hop over to the temperatures real quick. Just to assist it, I actually went and bought it a drone bay. And 5 drones, so this thing can actually do basic logistics by itself without having to dock. Because you need the drone bay just both to send things off to another ship and to receive things from ships, incoming drones as well, because they operate the same way. So having an automated drone system will allow me to use the drones for logistics flat out. Whereas right now only the cruiser is able to do that. You are doing okay just fine. You are pressurizing, you are loading. You don't have that much fuel. Let's... fuel, I have plenty of spare fuel on the cruiser actually, so let's send over another 5 sets of fuel. Yeah, let's do that. Though I've actually sent a bit too much over anyway, and that's with me boxing up all the scrap metal that's over here. Of course I did. Right, store. Any cargo, just jam anything you like over there. Please just get it out of the way. Thank you. There we go. This place is now pressurized. It's also in much better nick than he wanted me to, because it's also reprocessing all of its outputs in terms of materials, food, all that stuff. So, Alexander James, what are you going to tell me next? Need to tidy the mess, but nothing needs to be wasted. We can recycle the raw materials found on this station. There's an industrial smelter among the box equipment. Install it, power it up, and set it to recycling all the scrap metal. Give us an early supply of metal ingots, a critical resource in manufacturing anything. Install the smelter. Smelt it. Dismantle some equipment. There's a little bit in here, so that's why that one's already checked off. Efficiency is going to be key for this facility turning a profit. Set a storage zone for scrap metal near your smelter and other metal ingots that come out. Crew will waste a lot less time carrying goods long distances. And then it just wants me to do that. I just need to tell it to dismantle the rest of this stuff. Like we've got broken fabricators, that's a broken battery I believe. That's a broken FTL drive actually, so what's that doing on a space station I have no idea. The fact this one doesn't come with a FTL drive pre-installed though kind of betrays the fact I think you're not intended to move this thing. It's meant to be a station after all. Though that said, the blank ship hulls don't come with FTL drives either when you buy them new. So, let's just... Yep, that's all the scrap, I think. Marked to be scrapped. Very good. For the pipe to work, I need to edit the habitation deck to include that area. Let's do that. There we go. And that'll... Yep, now the sewage pipe's working. And that'll start pre-processing into a supply of compost and fertilizer. Compost, food... That's all now ticking over nicely. This is all going to be okay. Apart from that, it claims it has low oxygen, but I just didn't give it enough oxygen to fully pressurise, did I? Do we have any of that on the cruiser? We do. Yep, send 50, please. Just because, why not? Though, honestly, I think this place could do with more crew flat out. If I'm going to be entirely honest with you. 10 people struggle to move all this stuff around. That's why the cruiser has more. But anyway. Second verse, same as the first. Let's go ahead and I think I will go ahead and scrap out these walls. Just to clear more factory floor. That one's not got any. This one's got some rooms, but I'm just going to do that. I left the rooms in there purely for aesthetic reasons, to be honest. There's something we can do to further modify, and... Why are you out there? Why is there a spacesuit out there? I'm slightly confused. I don't know why that's out there. Oh. Of course. Of course. Mirror mode. So this is where the tutorial is actually telling me to dismantle stuff. Problem with that is... Equipment is ruined. Scrap any equipment dismantled by left clicking. Stop dismantle by clicking dismantle again, or by closing the construction menu. Close menu, click on construction button, or pressing escape. Now it's telling me to put scrap metal into the smelter. It's telling me these things that I know about. So yeah, there we go. That is now going. Saw metal ingots near smelter, 10 out of 10. I think that procs immediately because if we go back to the cruiser, right next to our smelters over here, we've got a massive stack of stuff already sorted out over there. So that's all good. If I can draw your attention to the schematic issued by Andromeda Project, you'll see actually quite a simple part. Structural framework, which will build everything else. So ingots into a fabricator, into frames, and then from the frames it is assembled into the package Stargate frames. Manufactures parts, just 2 stages out of metal ingots. Letterbox fabricator and assembly table on station, set them up next to each other. Once they're installed, set fabricator to manufacture frames, then set the assembly table to specialise them into Stargate frames. Simple stuff, but eventually we'll need a huge throughput. Okay, so fabricator, assembly table, provide an initial batch of 10 frames for certification. Expect our work will be able to be approved as official partners for the Andromeda project. Shouldn't take too long. If you run out of metal, remember you can recycle more of the ruined equipment around the facility. Already done. I've already scrapped everything else. We've got a box over there full of spare scrap metal. I was thinking of doing that. You know, let's actually go ahead and install, I think, a full bore storage crate, I suppose. Maybe not. Just trying to think about... If I do it like this, I had a small one there, because then we would have space, at least my thinking is, this is 1-to-1, so it'll fit straight in. Then here would be the track for the loading of materials, where more of the scrap metal stuff would flow through from delivery, either by drones or stuff. And then next to it we would have the other smelter set up for other things. So similar kind of setup, honestly, to on the cruiser. So same deal here. Circular track, which is loaded into with, rather than everything being dumped to it like this one, this would just be loaded with the materials to go into the smelting array. And then we would move on from there to actually producing the frames. Right, so I don't need to do that. Let's get rid of these two storages. Flat out, you're good. This one is going to be configured for just the scrap metal. There it is. And this one is, of course, set for scrap metal processing. Hey, logistics. Do we have... I need those smelters now. Though I have transferred some stuff actually over to the Temptress to get that configured a bit as well. Let's see. Yeah, there's still one smelter waiting on the cruiser to be sent over here. I should probably actually start setting the Temptress up and get that off doing its own thing, because that's kind of what I wanted to doing with it. Yeah. Sorry, this one's actually going to have some jump skits just because I'm setting things up logistically as we go. But let's go ahead and figure this one out, though. So a fabricator, there. Assembly table, there. Logistics, please send me everything you've got over there. I sent a couple over to the Temptress, but the rest is just sitting on the cruiser ready to go over here, so... there we go, 5 of each, send them over. Mission benches are on Temptress. I think I will do what I said with the Temptress, which is like, it's going to be a general munitions resupply craft. It's going to produce ammunition, which then can be used for sale or contracts, or for running everything else. Let's see. Frame into... Okay, Stargate frame. 2 frame into a single Stargate frame every 20 seconds. While this one produces a frame every 10 seconds from 5 metal ingots. Ah, so this is where it said scale. Right. Should I double stack the smelters? Probably. I probably should. Dismantle that one. I'm going to need some more smelters. Give me all 3, I will need them. So far, so small, so good. Right. This is probably not the biggest thing, honestly. Well, actually, it's kind of small, kind of compact. It's just like, these are 1-to-1 ratio, and these are operating at basically a 0.5 metal ingots per second for these guys. 5 metal ingots into 1 frame, yeah, that's a ratio, but remember that is every 10 seconds. And then these are producing actually at 1.5 because they've got a 50% efficiency boost for my research. So it's just like going to tick over and produce. And then they'll go to the assembly tables. The assembly tables require my crew's attention. So I'm just going to take these doors out preemptively. In fact, let's take the wall out of the way as well. That's because there is not actually currently a way for tracks and arms to get stuff past a wall, but a arm can reach through a door to put something on a track on the other side. So it's a little bit janky, honestly, in that regard. It could do with some kind of tunnel, like subfloor system for tracks would be quite nice as well. If they can't interact with robot arms or things like that while under there, they have to emerge again before they can do that. That would probably help a lot in terms of ship layout, as well as another layer of complexity to the overall thing. A bit more factory going on. But in this case, we are actually manufacturing, of course, the assembly tables. I'm also pondering if I want to redesign the docking areas a little bit. To accept mass import of materials automatically, which would require, I've been thinking about it, a double layer of robotic arms to grab from the 2-tile big deployment area of items inbound, and then that would have to just go into like filtering, like an item sorter to split what needs to go where, and then it'll just go from there. And also, I want to have these things stored kind of nearby as well. Because I'm honestly thinking about logistics. If I need to get a lot of logistics, like 3 to 1.5, that's still a lot of scrap metal going into each individual frames, so the question is going to be, how many frames am I going to need, all told? And that I don't know, really. So, I really should just be a bit more careful. Did I not actually transfer any solar panels across? I did, yes. And that matches into there. Okay. And honestly, might as well just symmetry across here as well. It takes away the rounded corners a bit, but it also means I can make the corridors slightly thicker as well, which would, in the end is probably going to be turned into more floor space if I'm going to be entirely honest with you. And just look at the scaffolding in place. Re-enable the symmetry. It was about... yeah, about there. Same for you. Yep, confirm. And that let me actually plug these guys in. I mean, these things aren't useless when you get into a nebula area. It's just that they actually generate half power. Like, they only generate like 5 power a pop instead of 10, which is not the best, honestly. Then I'll just go ahead and plug this into the existing power grid just to start taking some of the load off from the generators, because, you know, the generators are doing their own thing as they are. I do need to try and do something about fuel generation. Anyway, Project Representative, hello. This is a message for AJE Foundry. Received your samples, report they are passed comfortably with our engineering tolerances, formally approved as licensed industry partners, may now manufacture all items in our design manifest. Batches of complete parts may now be submitted to the Andromeda project through the open marketplace. You'll find our buyers will compensate you. Sorry, I keep clicking to try and speed up and then accidentally skipping forward. Thank you for your endeavours and good luck. Okay. Excellent. Let's take a look at manifest that he mentioned and see what's required next. Stargate. Okay, so I think we've got access to, as far as game development is concerned, somewhere around phase 6 or 7, or somewhere around this area, like the midway. Everything you need in the current phase. Each component you need is manufactured on the left. Placing a mouse over it will show you how to produce it. Yep, 2 frames, 20 seconds. Need 200. Okay, that's going to be... that's going to be 1,000... No, wait, no, that's wrong. I'll crunch that in a second. In phases. Each phase requires more and more resources. Just complete phase 1. Complete phase 2, we need to go into manufacturers. Instead of 10, we need 200. Sell your frames to a trading post to submit them to the Andromeda project. Now close this screen. Close. There we go. Just a bulk order for parts we already provided. 200 more Stargate frames. Already manufactured. Need to scale up, for this will take forever. Yes, it will. Though we are steadily going. How many have we got so far? Sell Stargate frames. We've already got nearly 10% of it already, actually. And part of that is just down to length of time it's taking to move stuff. Releasing some seed money to you. $600,000 should be enough for you to buy all equipment we need to scale up. Remember, since it's a gift, I still own this station and all equipment on board. Oh. You own the station and all aboard. Does this mean I'm going to have to give this back to you? If that's the case, that's kind of disincentivizing me to, you know, develop it properly myself. Apart from the fact I'm going to be getting money. Especially buying more smelters, more fabricators, more assembly tables, a couple of each at least. All equipment to draw more juice, so you need to expand your power network, reactors and batteries to cope, and you'll need more crew to do the work too. Run out metal ingots, you should be able to buy raw materials from the open marketplace. You can usually buy scrap metal, but you'll find metal minerals, which can also be smelted into metal ingots. Start smelting 200 out of 200. Yep. Produce 200 sky frames, over 10%. Sell frames, 200. Right, okay, so that's a slight conflict of interest there, isn't it? I'm also covering the solar panels. If I install solar panels, that will go... Yep, that goes neatly there. If I go across here, and then I block this area out, and that will be... And that will be my docking area, I suppose you could say. It'd be nice if I could see pending construction, but there we go. About there, confirm. So that's that. The hull will be expanded to include this, and I might as well just round out the corners as well. You know, get a bit more of that rotation sorted out. And then I'll go ahead and just block out this section here for another $34,000. That's fine. Expanding where I can go with flooring into all of this. Confirm. So now we've got some much bigger sorting areas, but more importantly, we've also got potentially some storage space to jam these things into. And the problem is, are we going to be wanting to move stuff through here? Probably. Let's give a small short robot arm to... Oh, I'm out. Okay, right. The thing is, I could be making these as well. That's part of the reason why I've stacked up a whole bunch of them previously. Just trying to stop it from doing all that stuff. But I'm going to keep on going. Small robot. No, that's... There it is. Short robot arm. Thank you. Get some tracks in, which is going to move that way. Again, Factorio tracks are much better than this, but that's okay. And again, more short... I think I should probably look into actually producing short robot arms. The problem is if I have production running rampant with storage not set by limits, it'll just flood whatever storage it's installed on. So that's something to be aware of. And I'm not really sure how to compensate for that either, because I can't just tell these guys to prioritize the crates. Because if this prioritizes crate and this is full, this produces the ingot. They just come and pull the ingot out of the machine because I can't tell them to not pull out of the machine. I think I mentioned this last time. But on the bright side, though, at least we are making Stargate segments over here. And we're going to be stashing most of them near our actual location as well. So prioritize the crates. Prioritize crates, there we go. And yeah, this thing will just keep on ticking over. Let's just go ahead and logistics transfer across a whole bunch of metal ingots, because we're going to need them. There we go. A whole bunch of metal ingots. Right. Now, let's do something else, shall we? Let's do something else a bit more productive. I want to figure out on here how to produce fuel. And I've transferred across the bulk of what I need, I think. So, let's see. I want to be producing using the chemistry lab, I think it was, which I have not transferred across. Whoops. Give me a minute, please. I knew this was going to be a sloppy-starty episode, but I wasn't quite anticipating how much. Alright, my first step in refitting the Astral Temptress is I'm literally gutting out the old air system. Maybe not the smartest thing to do, I must admit, but it is where I am going. At least to start out with. I've also gutted out the ladder, and I've gutted out the... I've gutted out the ladder, I've gutted out the air processing, as I said. I'm going to dismantle the doors back here, because I'm going to tear out these walls. I'm just going to revamp this entire bit, really. There we go, confirm that. Those two areas are sorted. And then I'm going to start converting this area, and that's because I'm going to be making this thing fuel processing capable. I've ordered the transfer of multiple bits of kit, as you can see. There's all sorts of stuff being moved to and fro by the actual crate things. Though the fact I've uninstalled the air system is a slight cause for concern. I do need to actually get that fixed up and rolling in. What's this storage for? I don't remember. I don't know what that storage is for, actually. I think that storage might be for fuel storage. Oh, this one is FTL charges. Okay, yeah, that's fuel storage up there. Okay. So, I'm just going to go ahead and install... actually, you know what? Let's dismantle these. Get some PD guns on this thing, which I'm going to have to trade for. Which is fine. Give me that. I've got munition benches already installed. Bullets, we'll be making some. Deflectors. Deflectors, I've never seen any on the market, so if this is going to be a supply ship, making deflectors would probably be a good idea as well. Let's be entirely honest. What do I need for a deflector? That was over here. Deflector blueprint is unlocked. I won't know unless I actually try to assemble it. Okay, right. Let's start installing some tables to try and figure this stuff out. That's one. Chemical lab. I believe fuel is from refined Metreon gas, which is just flat out harvested in a nebula area, actually. By the way, I'm just pulling the thrusters out so I can put them over this end of the ship instead, just to increase overall maneuverability. There we go. And here come the defense guns. Most excellent. Right. Assembler. I tell you to make a deflector, you want frames, energy coils, and lenses. Frames, energy coils, and lenses. Frames we can do, because they come from the other one. My question then is there anything coming from... There is not anything currently locked off, it looks like. Though I can boost my refining even further, as it turns out. I've forgotten there was another node there. Okay. Just need to install a fabricator, just to double check on that one real quick, and then we'll begin installing from there. This ship is going to be very different once we get there. Oh, we don't actually need those cans installed anymore. We can dismantle those. Yeah. Fabricator. Frames, energy coils, which is metal and copper. Lenses, which is precious metals. Okay. Again, wish I could control this. Sadly, no, I can't lock the doors either. A shame. Definitely a shame. Now, let's get this thing fixed before it starts to suffocate everyone, because that might be a bit of a bad thing. And there we go. We got ourselves production of, well, food. Food and water. Life support is plumbed in. There is a new tank there, which is going to be for fuel. I just need to get a... I suppose I'll keep that one as the primary tank for the fuel, just because that's kind of what I'm going to be doing. I find myself needing another loader. I'll just order a basic one, yeah, sure. So, let's get on with actual fuel, because fuel is the question. So, Chem Lab, make some fuel. We refine Metreon gas going into that. So 10 Metreon gas into 10 fuel every 2 seconds. 20 Metreon gas into 15 refined Metreon every 2 seconds. So 2 of these goes into 3 of these for fuel production. So far, so okay. Now these things are also fully automatic. They don't require any kind of operation. I've only got 2 over here. Let's see. Logistics. Do I have another chemical plant sitting around? That I do not know. Yeah, I've still got some sitting around actually. I want to leave 3 over there and a couple of refineries if I'm going to have a setup over on the cruiser as well. Just thinking about that one for a second. So it means I actually need some more. I do need to try and get some more bits and bobs anyway, industry-wise. Just go ahead and give me another 2 chem labs, please. Another 100,000. We've actually managed to not really touch this too much, though. Actually, I should reinstall the armor plating on this thing. Oh wait, no, it was never plated in the first place, was it? It'd be nice if I could fix the patchwork on the hull. The Procyon, though, is very much armor plated. Ooh, nearly 400,000 repair bill. Ouch. Oh well, if it gets it back into operation. The AG Foundry is, as we can see, just doing all the things. It is quite happily chugging away on the metal alloys I've been shipping across from the Procyon. I do need to rename that thing, actually. But it is going quite steadily. 200 Stargate frames. I'd say I crunched the numbers earlier. 200 Stargate frames is 400 normal frames. 400 times 5 is 1,000 metal ingots. Which is about 1,333 metal scrap if I was refining from that. Though we are researching that better efficiency ratio as we are just going about it, but that's not going to be here just yet. We're just waiting for these systems to actually keep up with the system, honestly. That said, though, we've got 100 sitting there already, so let's actually go ahead and trade. Sell Stargate frames, sell all. Oh, hello. What do you want? I knew so profitable endeavours. The Andromeda project so desperately in need of reliable manufacturing facilities that they're paying a fortune. Now sales is going to flow through you, but remember our agreement 50-50. I put lot capital to get us to this point. I need to start seeing a return. Every time you sell a batch of a project, you owe me half the revenue. I appreciate if you pay promptly. Demand of 125. So I've got $125,000 there so far. This is still well less of what he's invested so far. So I feel like this is going to be massively increasing. So we might need a bigger factory flat out. See my share. Excellent work. Thank you. You're welcome. I have done the thing. Very good. Just need some more scaffolds out here to properly operate all the solar I'm planning to install. I'm planning to just solar in the entire central block of this, honestly. And honestly, I'm still not decided on if I'm going to be turning this thing into a spaceship or not. We're going to find out, though, I guess. I thought you might like to see this. I've decided to sell off a bunch of the material that I looted from the spacesuit battles. An engine's a big ticket item, 100,000. I actually picked up a science station for some reason out there, so that's another 100. 20,000 here, 40,000 in fuel, 50,000 for food, 5,000 for compost. So honestly, getting a whole bunch of food produced from compost seems like it's far more profitable. You know, process it further. But $93,000 just in spare space suits that I don't need anymore. So that's actually been fairly profitable going on the combat. Not as profitable as just doing courier runs and back and forth and things like that. That was more profitable in general. But definitely is an interesting way to try and go about it. And I've not even tried to sell all this spare ammunition and stuff I've got lying around. And if I look at my contracts, there's nothing here right now requesting that I deal with this stuff. And honestly, why the Procyon's saying it's not got mining lasers? Actually, that's fair. Yeah, this Procyon doesn't actually have any mining lasers installed right now. But if I was elsewhere, I could be making a contract to try and sell some of the ingots and alloys and stuff like that I've got lying around on the ship as well. It's just, I'm not sure what I need for the actual Stargate program right now, beyond metal ingots, which is waiting for these guys to actually, you know, process through and try and do that way. You know, I might as well get the checkbox saying expand it a little bit by just, well, expanding it a little bit, I guess. I know. You can expand things by expanding things. What kind of madness is that? Oh, I don't know. I'm just going to install like an extra table, an extra fabricator, short robot arm, and then I'll just have an extra processing spot doing that. In fact, I can just install a robot arm here, and it'll even be plugged straight into... is that the right way around? That is the right way around. And then just plug that in. Of course, I'll be hand-feeding these guys into it. I just have to allow the crew to take out from it, that's all. So make frames, and you make some more Stargate frames. Again, it would probably be better if I actually just flat-out automated things a bit more. But exactly how I'd do that is another question mark. I'd have to actually rearrange this bit now that I'm looking at it. No, I wouldn't. I could just pull it off this side here, couldn't I? There's a gap here where I could pull another track off to fabricate elsewhere. There are options available to try and keep it going. Though this one is actually going to be waiting for ingots, honestly. So this will be slightly slower than these ones, just because it's not got the actual throughput for it. Anyway, let's check back on the... You are... Yep, you've done what I tasked you to do. Okay, let's get ourselves a fuel production system installed, shall we? Alright, one last little bit to do here. I have got myself a 100+ currently sitting around, saying there's no storage space available for it because, you know, it's all getting clogged up a bit. That is absolutely fine. I want to trade, I want to sell... I want to sell 100. There we go. Let's get that sorted out. Astral Temptress, I have been reconfiguring around here a bit. I have got the chemical system installed. Should I pay that off? Thank you. We've got 2 gas collectors plugged into a huge tank with 2 refineries. I've been looking into the munitions vent. Cannon shells and bullets both use explosives, while the slugs are pure metal. The cannon shells and bullets also use metal as well. Explosives is refined metrium gas, which we are already planning to collect with this thing. Straight up, straight up. That is good. So just refine the metrium gas from the collectors, and that'll do. We've also got over here storage and 4 scoops, so this thing can grab a whole bunch of isotopes when it jumps and then just refine some more FTLs. And just for convenience, the FTL drive is actually up front now as well with an automatic linkage, just on automated best we can. We've got the beginnings of the actual drone system going in here now, so this thing's got mine lasers, a full bank of them installed. And I'm just waiting on getting some small robot arms, honestly. It's going to have to go like this. Can't click and drag because this is not Factorio. Then it's go like this. This is the loading point which will grab the arms back off of it, and that is quite nice. And then, I think I've mislaid it slightly. I have. Okay. Anyway, Alexander, fantastic work, Captain. I had high expectations, but the process was even more smooth than I hoped. We've made ourselves known to the Andromeda project now, but this is just the beginning. Later phases of projects will no doubt be much more involved. Perfectly positioned to capitalize on the opportunity, and there's a lot of opportunity to be had. There are individuals behind this mega project with wealth and resources far beyond my comprehension, but their ambitions far exceed the capabilities of the other ships and people in this sector. They're going to need our help. We can take a short break. I'll give you a call when I'm ready to start working on the next phase of the Stargate project. You might want to stop some of your equipment in the meantime. We don't want to waste anything. Goodbye for now. Episode complete. Deep Space Industrialists. Very good. Aha. Dismantle that robot arm there. And I want to get that robot arm as soon as it lets me install it. Just waiting for it to be in storage. Come on, guys. Let me place the robot arm. I guess I can't place the robot arm. That is... Oh, there's door, cannon, robot arm. That's why. It got grabbed on the track. Right. Why did that get grabbed on the track? I do not know why that got grabbed on the track. Sure. But there's currently nothing to offload for that. But that one go there. Tracked because we've got to do the whole back and forth thing due to how these arms are placed. Merges. Grabs the drones, loaded back into the storage crate, and then that goes out to the 3 things over here. So that's all starting up. Last thing to do today is I'm going to tell this ship to head over to NG7 to get some more materials on hand, to be honest, but also to just go and get the first step of refining going, just to check how well that works. Also to see how much we actually get from a single jump. There's a very short jump which was worth a couple of hundreds. Maybe 1 FTL jump there from the 4 scoops. So probably do with some more scoops up front. Okay, now we are gathering gas though. I'm not impressed by that total. 2.4 per second. These are... To run just these 2 is 20 per second, so I need 10 of these gas collectors in this area just to operate that. Well, 8 of them, honestly. But at the very least, it gives us an idea of what we're looking at. Because remember, this is without explosive going as well, which would be another 10 per second to run an extra refinery just dedicated to that. 5 every 2 seconds, that's 2.5. Actually, that could be fed off here quite easily. It won't really mind too much. Dismantle those 2. Because fuel storage is now going into this tank over here. But this is indeed starting to produce some fuel. Slowly but surely, we are making our first fuel. Very nice. And of course, this is waiting on Tillium just to get that sorted out as well. But we are also planning to mine with this ship as well. That's kind of why I got it going over here. So, you see what I mean? There's all sorts of material actually left around here. And this is why having a decent full-bore refining setup installed in this one, like probably just the same compact version that's in the Procyon, honestly, is going to be installed in here to refine ores that this mines and that other ships mine and leave lying around. But we're going to end it there, though. This entire episode has been about getting some industry going. It has overrun recording time, I fully admit. So, you know. But we are making steps. This thing isn't quite set up for full-bore production, but one of these could very easily feed a whole bunch of cannon shells and some bullets, because cannons don't take much. It's 1 explosive every 5 seconds. Bullets takes an explosive every 2 seconds. This makes... Actually, this makes an explosive every 2 seconds, so one of these could feed 1 making bullets, or 5 making cannon shells. Wow, cannon shells are slow. Multiple bench definitely required. But we'll get that sorted out next time, because there is still some more story stuff to go and do. I will check the Stargate phase, though. Phase 3 is currently unknown. We'll find that out later on, though. So yeah, this has been Mark 3. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hello. Helps on me, helps the channel, give me those virtual headpats I also crave. I'll catch you all some other time, except we have now got a call. Yes, okay, what do you want, Mr. Alexander? Wow. You gave me a matter of minutes there. Thank you. Captain, I think it's time we resume work on Stargate contracts. I'd look ahead, and the next phase is a huge step up. Give me a call when you're ready to continue your work. We might do that next time. But yeah, see you all later.